I hope you're doing well wherever you are seeing this. This is going to be my sixth and final observation. Field experience refs. Damn, reflection. Uh, um, I uh, was once again observing Miss Ratsky's grade 4 classroom, English and science. Um, and what I was focusing on today was the non-verbal behaviors from the students. But there's also, we have a fun extra bit to focus on today because we had a lockdown drill, which was very fun to observe. So just to start off, in terms of today, uh, in terms of their non-verbal behaviors, when it comes to their social behavior, there really, thankfully, isn't much disruptive behavior. Um, there's a boy named Benjamin and another boy named Austin, and they do make a very concerted effort to annoy each other during silent reading time, which is quite to Miss Ratsky's chagrin. But other than that, much of the other class don't really engage in nonverbal disruptive behavior on purpose. Um, it's a lot more attention-seeking behavior. So it's not uncommon for kids to, hit like the classroom and be like, "Ah, ah," very obviously trying to get the attention of either myself or Miss Ratsky or the aide named Miss Kate. Um, there's a lot more of that than there is anything else. Uh, but in terms of, there's also less, but still quite a bit of positive constructive behavior. Lots of nodding from the kids. There's a small group of girls who I'm pretty sure know the answer to almost all the questions, but they never seem to want to answer them. So you'll look over to their desk and they'll all just be, and then she'll be like, "Yeah, that's right," and they'll be like, "Yeah," uh, just kind of non-verbally. Uh, Accepting the fact that they were right. Um, Other than that, there isn't a lot of bored or inattentive behavior that I noticed, at least. Um, Most of the kids were pretty attentive during the class and all that. They were a little off the chain during the lockdown drill in this case at least. Granted, there wasn't any disrupting going on or attention seeking going on from them during that, but they definitely can't blame them. They were definitely very bored. Lots of looking around, looking out the window. I saw a kid reading the title of every book on their bookshelf. And he doesn't even like reading those books. A few yawns, stuff like that, and a lot of kind of shuffling around just to get more comfortable, I guess. So I did see quite a bit of bored and inattentive behavior. But it's also not, in general, these aren't things that Miss Ratsky is putting a lot of effort into correcting. She was pretty okay with letting them just kind of do their thing. Um, because she figured it would be pretty okay, whatever the case. And then in terms of nonverbal academic behavior, there is a very clear divide in the class between the kids who like reading and the kids who don't like reading, because you will see half of the class, Miss Ratsky will give them some free time, and they are right away, they have a book out, they are reading away, doing whatever they can to finish up whatever novel they're on. And you have the other class, or the other half of the class, who has no such interest. They're much more interested in discussing with each other and, talking and all this kind of stuff. So, in terms of nonverbal academic behavior, there's a split between discussion skills and reading skills. But there isn't really anything for like writing per se. Like, there's not a lot of kids making art unless they're specifically directed to, and stuff like that. In general, they're either opening a book or they're chatting to their neighbor. And other than that, I'd just like to do a quick breakdown of the lockdown drill, which was very fun to observe. It started off with Miss Ratsky just explaining the whole drill to the kids. They took a few questions. We found out that one kid allegedly had his school nearly broken into by 8 separate moose, which was quite the shock. Um, we then proceeded to continue with class as per normal till we got the announcement, we are now in lockdown. All the kids scurried over to the corner. They all sat down, behaved themselves. Actually, they did very well, all things considered. Like I said, no disruptive behavior, no talking, no making noises to try to be funny, nothing like that. They all behaved themselves very well, which honestly, me and Miss Ratsky were a little surprised by, but a good surprise. All in all, it was a very fun experience, and I'm glad I got to be there as one of the adults instead of one of the kids. But I think that's going to wrap up my 6th field observation reflection. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you when I see you.